Hello everybody, I'm Gamemaster 909, back with more LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. So previously, I completed everything that Episode 4 A New Hope has to offer, including the Super Story. And so today, we're going to go ahead and do the Super Story for Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. So, yeah, this works pretty similarly to A New Hope Super Story, where it's, you know, have to do all 6 chapters back to back in under an hour, and you have to collect at least 100,000 studs across all 6 levels. So, yeah. I wouldn't say it's really anything. Also, why was that binocular view off-center? Whatever. Anyways. What was I saying? Yeah, so this is something that's more, like, just kind of time-consuming than hard. It's not that difficult to do it, but it takes up so much of your time that, like, is it even worth doing? I mean, it is if you want to 100% complete the game, but, like, literally, there would be no other reason you want to play this otherwise. Probably why they took it out of all LEGO games after the complete saga, which, honestly, thank goodness, because I think I said this previously, but, like, imagine if frigging, I don't know, let me think. Like, I don't know, the LEGO Harry Potter games had Super Story, or something like that. Okay, actually, now that I think about it, how would that even work? With all the hub world interactions and stuff? You couldn't really do that with the modern LEGO games. I mean, you could, but it'd be really weird. Let's see. I think that's enough exposition for Super Story. Because, is there anything else to comment on in terms of, like, the entire, I don't know, concept? Not really. So, when I talked about Hoth Battle previously, I mentioned how, oh, the ATSTs don't even appear in Empire Strikes Back. I actually made a mistake. Yes, they do. They actually do appear in Empire Strikes Back. Although they appear very briefly, they do appear. I think in like a total of like 2 or 3 shots. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, similarly to what I did for A New Hope, I went ahead and rewatched The Empire Strikes Back right before recording this, so that I can, you know, just find some stuff to talk about. And there's not really much else to talk about the Hoth Battle level, other than the fact that in the movie, like, the actual Hoth Battle takes place, like, 20 minutes into the movie, which is great. But, like, of course, it's kind of, like, the cutscenes explains, like, all that happens before it. Like, Luke getting attacked by the Wampa. And then I think he, like, passes out or whatever. Like, while in the snow. And, you know, Ben Kenobi talks to him. Tells him, hey, go to Dagobah or whatever. And so, yeah. Also, I just realized, is it just me, or are there so many LEGO Star Wars sets based on Hoth? Like, I swear. There's so many. Like, think about how many ATs they release, or how many Echo base sets they release, or just small little Hoth base sets. Like they made 2 Hoth themed, like, I forget what you call them. They're just little, like, action play sets or whatever that had, like, you shoot targets or whatever. I think they did those kind of LEGO sets, I think, once, and then I think once back in, I think either 2018 or 2019. They tried it once, and I find it funny that they never did it again. I'm pretty sure those sets sold horribly, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I don't really look into LEGO sales too often. But I don't think those sets sold that well, because I don't think anyone really cared for them. Which, honestly, I don't blame them. They don't look too interesting. But, yeah, there were 2 Hoth-based ones and 1 Endor-based one. So, yeah. I mean, now that I think about it, there's probably as many Hoth sets as there are, I don't know, Tatooine sets. Because there's a lot of Tatooine sets. Whether it be based off A New Hope or Return of the Jedi. Mainly A New Hope. Like, you know, even in recent years, they released the Mos Eisley Cantina UCS set. They released a set based on Obi-Wan's hut. They released a Sandcrawler a couple years back. They released a land speeder, or a new land speeder. They've released so many land speeders, oh my god. Lego, I get that they're easy to design, but come on. I mean, I get why they go safe on the Star Wars vehicles most of the time, because they know that some of the more iconic vehicles will sell. Like, I don't know, X-Wings, Y-Wings, or... Actually, now that I think about it, when's the last time they released an actual, like, Y-Wing? That doesn't have to do with the sequel trilogy. Or, now that I think about it, they're probably going to stop, like, making sequel trilogy sets, because, I mean, who talks about the sequel trilogy anymore? And the only reason, I'm pretty sure the only reason they made those sequel trilogy sets was just to promote the sequel trilogy movies. I mean, you could say, oh, they continue to release Star Wars prequel trilogy sets. I'm sure they'll still release, like, sequel trilogy sets, but just not as often. Maybe every now and then. Kind of like with prequel trilogy sets, they don't release too many prequel trilogy. I keep on saying prequel trilogy, prequel trilogy, prequel trilogy. May as well just say, I don't know, prequel sets. There you go. Prequel sets. Like, they released a couple. Like, this year they released... I think the Duel on Mustafar set. They released a new Grievous Starfighter set. I think it's the 3rd one we've gotten overall. Shoot. I can't think of what other ones they released. Yeah, like I'm saying, they don't release too many prequel trilogy sets. They do release a few, though. Which, I mean, it's fine. I mean, would you count the 501st Battle Pack they released this year as a prequel set, or would you count it as a Clone Wars set? And would the Clone Wars fall under prequel? Like, when I say prequels, I'm mainly talking about the movies. Like, you know, Episode 1, 2, and 3. And overall, like, they haven't released too many prequel sets. It's mainly just original trilogy sets, because those are usually what sell. Those are usually what sell. Like, because original trilogy stuff actually sells well. Because that's the ones people like the most. It's the ones probably the most people grew up on. And are the ones that people go back to the most often. Which makes me think, are the sequel trilogy movies going to be remembered? I mean, like, the prequel trilogy movies were hated when they came out. But people still go back to them and act fondly on them. It could be nostalgia. But it could also be, like, the kind of bad that the movies are, where, as, like, the prequel trilogy, I keep on saying prequel trilogy, it's so wordy, the prequels, I'll just say that, the prequels, like, I think, like, they were such a disaster that it was kind of fascinating how bad they were, and how they were written and stuff, and how George Lucas called writing movies like kind of like poetry or whatever. Didn't he say that?
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme. Mm-hmm. Every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
Whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like, people look back on the prequels nowadays, even though they were hated, while in the next 10 years, I don't know if people will remember the sequel trilogy, because with the sequels, they were, I don't know, I feel like they were kind of forgettable, for like the forgettable kind of bad, where, like, it's where, like, with the prequels, they really did try. George really did try to make this new trilogy that connected with the original trilogy. With the sequels, it was just kind of a rehash of the original trilogy, because that was what people liked. And so I thought, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But look, there are some things I do like about the sequels, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of it just doesn't stick out, because a lot of it is just stuff we've seen before. Anyways, back onto Empire Strikes Back. Wow, I just kind of went on and on about the sequel trilogy. What's wrong with me? We're 10 minutes in. But, you know, while watching The Empire Strikes Back, this does have to do with the, Echo Base area. Like, I realized while watching the movie, I think someone told me this through, YouTube comments, I know. Someone said through, like, a YouTube comment, I think, how, one of the rebel soldiers on Hoth was actually played by John Ratzenberger. You might know him for, having a voice role in every Pixar animated film. You know, he voiced Ham in Toy Story. He voiced the little flea guy in A Bug's Life. He voiced the Abominable Snowman in Monsters, Inc., the Underminer in The Incredibles, the School of Fish in Finding Nemo, Mac in Cars, the waiter guy, I forgot his name, in Ratatouille. I forget exactly who he plays in WALL-E. But I think he voices one of the construction workers in Up. I don't remember who he plays in Brave either. I haven't seen Brave in so long. My god. Pretty sure I've only seen Brave once, now that I think about it. I think he voiced one of the memory workers in Inside Out. I don't know who he voiced in The Good Dinosaur, because I'll be honest, I've actually never seen The Good Dinosaur. But from what I've heard, I don't think I'm missing out on much. So, yeah. But yeah, the guy who voiced all those characters is in Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back. And I did check in the credits of the film, It actually is John Ratzenberger. So, what do you know? I forgot the character who he plays' name, but I don't think that's important because I don't. Dang it. I don't think it's never said in the movie. Like, you know, about 70% of all Star Wars names, they aren't said in the movies themselves. Okay. Wow, we're only on the second level and we already have 58,000 studs. Wow. Now, I think, yeah, Empire Strikes Back has always been my favorite of all the Star Wars films. And it's also the one I've probably seen the most times. Yeah, probably. Mainly from, I don't know, TV airings. Now that I think about it, I don't remember, like, the first time I ever watched Empire. Now that I think, it was probably from TV airings. Because I wasn't around to see the films in theaters. I mean, come on, I'm not that old. And we got pretty close to being able to see them in theaters again when they were going to re-release all of them in 3D. But it never happened because Disney bought out Star Wars. Yeah. I know I already talked about that and how, like, the versions that were going to be used for that were put onto Disney Plus. Which is probably why all of the 20th Century Fox logos are still on those films on Disney Plus. Because on most TV airings I find in the Star Wars films, they don't have the 20th Century Fox logos in the beginning. They go straight to the Lucasfilm logo and then the film begins. So, yeah. Or at least from the ones I've seen. Which usually air on channels like, I don't know, TNT and TBS. Oh well, it never explains where Luke's going. I mean, I'm sure it explains in the opening crawls on each level. Like, you know, seen here. Although, the level's already loaded. That was quick. And, yeah, we're just right in space. No okay, there was a transition between them being on Hoth and them being at space. Kind of. Alright. Time to do this a third time. And trust me, this will not be our last time. Because I am going to play through LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. However, with that game, I'm only going to do the brand new content that's in it. I'm not going to, you know, do story and free play of these levels I've already played through again. No, that would be useless, and there would be no reason for me to do that. So I'll just do all the new content that's in there. So, yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but it won't be the playthrough right after this. I know that. There'll be some other stuff in between this and the Complete Saga. Alright! 16 minutes. Wow. I'd say compared to A New Hope, like the overall story for Empire Strikes Back in this game, I think it definitely is a more accurate retelling. Like, they definitely go beat by beat, and they don't really miss a lot. They do miss some stuff, mainly like stuff on Echo Base, and it's kind of in the wrong order because, like, both this level and the next level occur simultaneously, and the 5th and 6th levels also occur simultaneously. So, like, in the movie, it goes, like, back and forth between these two, like, events. Between this and Luke being on Dagobah. While here, it's just, this all happens, and then that level all happens. But other than that, I think they got it spot on. Although, unfortunately, like, there's not, like, a lot of scenes of, seeing Darth Vader on the Death Star. Or, not on the Death Star, what am I thinking? On the Star Destroyer. Or the Super Star Destroyer, I guess you could say. But I don't think you really need much of that in order to get the whole story. I mean, they could have at least had the scene where, like, you know, like, with all the bounty hunters. I still can't believe they went through the effort of making all those elaborate, like, costumes and stuff for all the bounty hunters for that singular scene. Like, they made whole outfits for characters like Bosk and Dengar only to be used for that single scene. Oh, I think some of those bounty hunters do appear in Return of the Jedi. Like, I think, the bounty hunter Zuckuss, I think he appears in Return of the Jedi somewhere, but I'm not sure. Alright. I forgot what I was going to say. Something about the bounty hunters. But yeah, they're in this game with no context at all. You just, after you complete the story, you can buy them, and like that's the only time you ever see them is when you buy them. They aren't really seen in the actual story, with the exception of Boba Fett, of course, because he actually, like, you know, has a major role in these movies. But yeah, it's a shame you never see IG-88 or Forlom or Dengar or Bosk in any of the story levels. I mean, it's cool that they're in this game in general, but I don't know, it's a weird omission to not have, like, the bounty hunter scene be in the story. Although now that I think about it, how would you, like, tell that without, you know, words, when just mumbling? I mean, I'm sure they could figure something out. I mean, they told the I am your father scene using no dialogue at all, so I'm sure it's possible. Alright, that's that level. Although I know there is like a space slug section in this, but yeah, they never show in the story them like ending up in the space slug. But they do show this, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm recording this at midnight, by the way. So, just like the last video where I did the New Hope Super Story. Alright. On to Dagobah. Let's see, what is there to know about this? This shot's pretty similar to the movie with all the bats flying around. Although they're probably not bats, although in this game they use the Lego bat piece. So, they're probably not bats, but they look similar to bats. I'm sure they have a name. I guarantee you they have a name. Let's see. Ugh. Not a scratch on R2. Wow. You know, I may as well say this now. While watching Empire Strikes Back, I had the subtitle track on, just so I could, like, you know, get all the dialogue without having to really listen, to really pay attention, because I felt like I kind of needed to know the dialogue for this, for reference. But I noticed that an entire part of the subtitle track is actually, like, completely wrong compared to the movie. Or, like, the, you know, the actual movie's dialogue. And it's a scene in Cloud City where, you know, where they're trying to escape Bespin or whatever from the stormtroopers and the Empire. I think, like, R2 is activating something or whatever. Like, yeah. And C-3PO talks about how, like, why is he worrying about Han's hyperdrive so much or whatever. Or the Millennium Falcon hyperdrive. And the dialogue in the movie says, like, if you listen to C-3PO, he says the hyperdrive of the Millennium Falcon, while the subtitles read just the Millennium Falcon's hyperdrive. So they got that wrong. And I was watching the Disney Plus version, so I checked the DVD version of the film. It reads the exact same thing.
Ah! We're not interested in the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon, it's fake!
So I'm guessing they probably, like, copy and pasted that subtitle track into the new version of the movie. Or, like, the Disney Plus version. That probably explains why the McClunky line in A New Hope just doesn't have subtitles at all. So, yeah. Now, I could talk about how my father... Yeah, my own dad. His favorite of the Star Wars films, I think, pretty sure, is Empire Strikes Back. And he's talked about how it's the one he's seen the most. Like, I'm pretty sure he's, like, has every line memorized to it or something. Probably not all of them, but he's able to predict lines as they come, like the line where Han says, "Laugh it up, fuzzball," to Chewie, stuff like that. Which one do I do first? I forget. It's this one. R2, I want you to get closer. Ah, great. What are you doing? What's Luke doing? I swear, Luke was going all staying alive over there, being like, I don't know. Well, you can tell by the way I, shoot. Something like, I wouldn't think. Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a Batman. No time to talk. I don't know, something stupid like that. I just made that up on the spot. Come on, please, please. Yes! Alright. We got it. Alright. And Luke has learned the Force. And we get to play as Yoda. Nice. You know, when I watched the movie today, I never realized about how, like, when Luke first gets on Dagobah, how he, like, has some food with him or whatever. I wonder what that food is. I mean, I'm sure someone on the internet knows exactly what it is, like the name of the food, and like the planet it originates from, and everything. But yeah, we don't really know a lot about the cuisines seen in Star Wars. Do Star Wars cookbooks exist? I'm sure they do. Like, I'm sure there's recipes on how to make Wookiee cookies and stuff like that. Well, and I know there are, like, you know, of course there's plenty of Star Wars themed food items. Like, I have a Millennium Falcon waffle maker. Yeah. That's pretty cool, honestly. Get to make Millennium Falcon shaped waffles. It's the best. Although I've only had waffles from there like twice. And I've had it for a while now. So, and we're almost at 100,000 studs. And hey, there's Vader. You know, I bet, you know, when this film first came out, I bet when they saw this scene where Luke fought Vader on Dagobah, I bet you the audience was so confused. Like, oh, how did Vader get to Dagobah so quickly? Or, like, you know, when it's like, when Luke slices Vader's head off, the audience might have just been like, that's it? Vader's dead? Either that, or they were probably just, you know, clapping the whole way through. I'd imagine that's probably the case. Being like, yeah, Luke killed Vader. But like, when the helmet explodes and it shows Luke's face, that's probably when they would have been confused. And also, yeah, of course in the movie, Yoda is not involved in this scene, nor is R2, but he isn't involved in the fight in this game anyway, so, yeah. Alright. I wonder if anybody has, like, archived an entire audience reaction to Empire Strikes Back. I know someone has, like an audience like an archived audience recording of the I Am Your Father scene. Or at least I think that's real, like from 1980. It might be fake, who knows. Although from what I've seen from it, it seems like it might actually be real. Because, you know, the audience, what I heard, was in shock when they heard that, you know, Darth Vader is Luke's father. They were all like, oh no, stuff like that. So, it might be real. I have also found an audience reaction, like, video on YouTube for, the ending of A New Hope. You know, the whole Death Star scene and stuff. And that one probably actually might be real, because, probably because of how loud the camera is. Like, you could hear the tape, like, winding and stuff. It's great. I might provide a link to it in the description. It's pretty cool. And of course, nowadays, there's plenty of, like, audience reactions videos for, like, entire movies and stuff. It's pretty interesting. They're pretty interesting to watch, I'd say. And also, watching the movie, I realized that Luke not being able to pull the X-Wing is actually a reference to the movie. I mean, it's obvious that it would be. I mean, why would it be in here if it wasn't? But, like even here, like, a specific, like, a line Luke says after he tries, and he's like, oh, I can't do it. You're expecting the impossible from me, Yoda. And then Yoda pulls the X-Wing out of the water. And hey, there's Ben. Alright, they're gonna wave goodbye. Alright. And I don't think it really explains that Luke has a sense that his friends are in trouble, and that's why he heads over to Cloud City in the first place. He seems so happy about it. Come on, man. Your friends are in peril, and you're just gonna smile? Like, this ain't that big of a deal. Who cares if my friends friggin' perish? Who cares if Leia, Han, Chewie are all dead? He still has that smile on his face. Come on, man. And then he magically changed his clothes. Like, I think Luke has a secret he doesn't want to tell anyone, including us. Now, I find it interesting how the Luke, like, scene here doesn't even have the leg printing. Oh, wait, no, yes, he does! He actually does have the leg printing. Wow. What do you know? Yeah, like the leg printing scene in the 2003 Cloud City set. I don't think I've gone into detail about that set, have I? About how it has a super rare Boba Fett minifigure with arm and leg printing that, like, goes for hundreds, if not thousands nowadays. And it's weird how that isn't the version used in this game, despite it being the most detailed at this time. They instead used the one from 2000 and 2006, the one without the arm and leg printing. Probably because, like, that was the minifigure that was available, like, that was on sale, or, like, on the market at the time of this game's release in 2006. That's probably why they did that, in all honesty. Why am I putting it on right now? I don't know. Also, this game, I don't think this game ever explains about how, like, the reason why Darth Vader wants him in here is because, like, Vader wanted to, like, freeze Luke in carbonite similar to what he did to Han Solo. And that's why we're in the carbon freezing chamber in the first place. It's because of that. I just find it weird how they never really explain it. Although, I guess it's just one of those plot elements that isn't that important. And there goes my helmet. Great. Let's see. I could talk a little further about that 2003 Cloud City set and how it has a landing bay to it. Despite there not even being a Slave One on the market at the time it came out in 2003. I mean, I think it was able to fit the 2000 Slave One. The one released in 2000, which is, like, super small. But, like, I don't know if it could fit the 2006 Slave One. I might have to look more into that. Alright, and I don't think there's stormtroopers involved in Vader and Luke's duel in the movie. Last I checked. Which was literally less than an hour ago. Okay, maybe it was more than an hour ago. I don't know. Ooh, it's a close call. But it didn't count because of course it didn't. That one did, though. I wonder how they'll... I mean, I'm sure, like, I know how they'll handle this fight in the Skywalker saga. But will it be like a one-on-one, or will it still have co-op? I'm sure it'll still have co-op with R2 and stuff. Or who knows, maybe they'll do, like, the whole split-screen thing seen in LEGO Star Wars 3, where, like, multiple scenes could happen at once. Where, like, you could have one scene of just Luke dueling Darth Vader and the other, you know, Leia, Chewie, not Han, Lando and all of them escaping from Bespin. You know, you could have both scenes happening at once. Kind of like with LEGO Star Wars 3, where you could switch between, like, things happening in multiple different areas, which I think was one of the coolest features in LEGO Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. It was too bad it was used so little. It was used in, like, I think 2 or 3 levels. So, yeah. There we go. Although, I mean, Anakin Skywalker, like, judging by this, you could still say, oh, is Anakin Skywalker a separate person from Vader? I mean, if you play this game, or if you play Complete Saga, you would know that Anakin is Darth Vader, but, I mean, if you played this alone, you might not know, you know? So, like, some might not see that as I am your father, you know, just as, hey, Anakin's your dad. But judging by the fact that this is technically a sequel to LEGO Star Wars, the video game, I'm sure most people playing this would know that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader, so it doesn't really matter. Pretty sure that's Lobot's only appearance in the whole game, right there. And yet he's a playable character with his own unique moveset. Own unique moveset. What am I saying? Is this a Smash Brothers game? Oh, this scene right here, where like C-3PO goes in there. It's not the Silver Protocol droid in the movie that that encourages him to go in there. It's actually the sound of an R2 unit that makes him go in there and then get blasted by, I think, a stormtrooper and fall apart and stuff, where we have to go and rescue him. And I was right. That scene earlier was Lobot's only appearance in this whole game. Wow. Alrighty then. Oh, never mind, he's right there. But still, he's barely in this game at all. And the music's on. Alright. So I guess this takes place after Lando announces through a microphone that the Imperial is about to take over Bespin, or Cloud City, and you know, he tells everyone to evacuate Cloud City as quickly as possible. And that's probably why, you know, you see all these people running around. So, yeah, that's probably pretty likely. Also, that girl has white gloves on. What the heck? Or they have white hands. Don't know why that's the case. Maybe it's the newest fashion trend on Cloud City. White gloves. Alright. I think I was saying before about, like, oh, how does Han Solo in Carbonite even float? Like, does that even follow the laws of physics? Oh, there's R2. Excuse me. Does that even follow the laws of physics or whatever? I doubt it does, but... Alright, well, this room is entirely useless. Music's back on. Alright, R2. Lead the way. Alright. Here's the Ugnaughts. Love these guys. You know what? I think Chewie should deal with these guys as he did in the movie. I think it's fitting. Also, they don't have a death sound in this game. They just have the normal bricks falling apart sound effect. I know they have like the default male death sound in Complete Saga, which I think is pretty funny. Like if you're in the movie, they sound really weird. Like I don't know how to describe it. Right. There we go. 3PO's back. And it's weird because in the movie, 3PO was like never together, like fully together like this until the very end of the movie. Because throughout most of Cloud City, of course, like Chewie like didn't know how to assemble 3PO, so he just had all of his parts on his back, with the only things attached being the head and the torso being together. And that's like that's it. So yeah, that's one inaccuracy. Although I know there is an extra that like allows Chewie to like have C-3PO on his back. However, yeah, extras are disabled here, so we can't really do that. Oh, Leia can't even wear one? Oh, that's stupid. Whatever. You know, I always question, why does Leia even wear that outfit in Empire Strikes Back? And not only that, she wears it for like, only, I think, not that long. Also, what have I done? Yeah. Whatever. I think that's the end of the Stormtroopers. For now. Whatever. We don't really need to access a Stormtrooper panel ever again. So I think we're good. Well. Oh, right. 3PO and R2. Forgot about them. Alright. Come here, 3PO. Also, apparently in the files of this game, it actually lists that magnet right there as a playable... You can actually make that magnet a playable character, which I think is hilarious. Like, at least that's how it is in the Complete Saga. I don't know about this game. Because I did, like, find a video about a whole bunch of non-playable characters in the Complete Saga. And one of them was that magnet over there. I think that's pretty funny. Although now that I think about it, I don't even think you have to activate that if you want to just go as R2 and just walk into here. Because all the characters will spawn into here anyway, so it doesn't matter. Even then, once we go back out, I don't think we still have to do it. Alright. Yeah, we're going to switch to R2. Oh, we already activated it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, you can go all about this stuff without even turning off the... I don't know what it is, a smoke, I guess you could say. Alright. And we are out of here. Nice. Wait. Wait, was that just a single rocket without, like, an actual, I don't know, launcher to it? Yeah, it seemed like he had nothing in his hand afterwards. Also, Leia magically changed outfits. Again. Oh. They gotta go rescue Luke. And it's probably the only time we ever, like, know, oh, Leia might have Force abilities too. Because she was able to sense, like, that Luke, like, where Luke was. Also, for some reason, only in the complete saga, Luke has just a black circle around one of his eyes. I don't know why that's the case. Here we go. The ending to Empire. Ah. Oh, shut up, 3PO. I don't know if you're wondering, in the movie, Luke's, replacement hand that he gets it's fully functional. It functions normally. It doesn't have a malfunction to it as seen here in this game. But I'm pretty sure in this game it only does that just to add more humor to it, or to this game. So, alright. Like, yeah, scene there. Because, yeah, this part never happens in the movie, where Luke's hand disconnects and has a mind of its own. Although that would have been pretty funny to see. Alright, episode 5 of The Empire Strikes Back Super Story is complete. It only took us 50 minutes and 8 seconds. And we got a total of 130,000 studs. And with that, we only have one more gold brick to collect. And that is, of course, the Return of the Jedi Super Story. And we'll view the credits later. And we are now 83.8% into the game. So we still have a lot to do.